In this video, I'm going to do 100 rounds of PvP in version 1.8. This will be a fairly long video, so I'm going to quickly say that I put timestamps in the description because I know how impatient people are, and this video is long enough that it needs chapters. Anyways, in case you were born yesterday and don't know the difference between the older PvP and the newer version, it's very simple. Just click as fast as you can. It can help significantly if you have a good computer mouse, since some mice can click easier and feel better in your hand. So for this video, I'll be using the glorious Model O. Let's begin. Since it's been a little while since I did this combat, I decided to do some classic duels to warm up. In classic duel, you're given enchanted iron armor, a sword, a bow, and a fishing rod. In this version, fishing rods can temporarily stun your opponent and allow you to get close enough to hit them without having them hitting you back. But it's very tricky because the line moves really slow, and if you manage to hit the other player, you need to be able to switch to your sword quickly. It can help to switch around the keybinds for your inventory, which I didn't think to do until a while later. Unsurprisingly, my opponent knew how to use a rod, so he won this round. Round 2, I started off with the bow, but I kept missing the shots until eventually we hit each other. But by then we got too close and switched to melee. This time I actually hit him with the rod, and then I quickly switched to my sword and butterfly clicked. Unfortunately, he managed to get quite a combo on me and gained a health advantage. Out of desperation, I tried using the rod for some reason and was able to get close enough to do a short combo, but again, he had the health advantage and so he won. Round 3, I started off with the bow again and managed to land a shot. Just one, and then began doing melee combat again. But this time I was able to do an amazing combo on my opponent, and so I had the health advantage. And because of that, I won. GG! I had people telling me I was never gonna win one. Round 4, I tried to shoot him with the bow, but he expertly evaded my shots, and so I just went straight for the melee. I tried to hit him with the rod, but he evaded that too, and so I just gave up and used the sword, and somehow I comboed him to death. Ah, look at me, I'm already getting better. Round 5, managed to hit him once with the bow, but again went straight to melee. But pretty soon I was low health. He tried to shoot me with his bow, but luckily he's better at dodging than aiming, so as a last ditch effort I tried to shoot him back, but the moment I stopped moving, he got me. Time for a different game. I somehow gained confidence with my aim and decided to do a few bow duels. The only tip I can give is to just aim where your gut thinks it'll hit. There's no obvious way to tell where a player will move to, but I've discovered that if I shoot where they're least likely going to move to, I'm actually more likely to hit them. Disclaimer, this only works if your opponent is a pro. Anyways, as you can see, I got off to a pretty bad start. He'd managed to chew through a lot of my health, but I was able to get him down really low, just a one shot, but unfortunately he let go of his arrow first and got me. I'm not even mad. The next round, the player I was fighting was AFK, but I didn't know that, and so I kept shooting around him expecting him to move, so I kept missing. Only took me a few seconds, but I eventually started hitting him. But before I could hit him the final time, he got back to his keyboard, but it was too late, so it was an easy win for me. It still counts. But in the next round, I wasn't quite as lucky. My opponent's skill was just too much for my strategy to overcome, so I lost. Round 9. Shot, 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 shot. Okay, now I'm getting a little mad. Round 10, I won this round pretty easily. He kept falling for my feigns, so I didn't take any damage and I was able to shoot him better. He must have just started playing, and if he's watching this, don't worry, you gotta start somewhere, like me. Alright, that's enough of normal duels, time to start playing Blitz duels. In Blitz duels, you can choose a kit that has different items and different levels of armor, but the kits are mostly equally matched. But I chose the Necromancer kit. It has full chainmail armor and a bow with punch 1 and a shovel with sharpness 1, which made it slightly better than the sword. I was also given 2 zombies and 2 skeletons as minions to help fight and also use as shields. Since the zombies took the hits for me, I was able to get close enough to get a combo on this person. Then I tried to slow him down using blocks, but that didn't work as well as I thought it would. But my minions came and they were able to distract him long enough for me to get close enough to finish him off, so I won round 11. Is this kit practically cheating? I mean probably, but I can't say that I regret choosing it. Round 12, I tried to spawn the minions as quickly as possible, but they were too late to block the shots from my opponent. I managed to shoot him back once with my own bow, but the minions kept getting in my way and I was already low health. I tried to hide behind some blocks, but he could still jump and shoot. All I could do was hope that my minions would get him, but I didn't see where he went. Round 13, I spawned the minions and charged him. I placed blocks in front of me to lure him closer and then smacked him in the face with my shovel when he got close enough. The minions took my opponent's hits so that he couldn't hit me more than once. I'd give my minions a raise, but I never paid them in the first place. Round 14, for faster games, I got closer to the center of the stadium and then spawned the minions. My opponent then placed his army of mushroom cows. It didn't matter whatsoever that his army didn't do any damage. He did a heck of a lot of damage to me and my minions and I could barely touch him. I tried to slow him down with blocks, but it didn't work again. That just proves that the Necromancer kit isn't really cheating, I guess. I fought him again in round 15, but this time I managed to get him much lower than the last round. Unfortunately, he got the last combo, and despite successfully placing a block in front of him to pause him, he managed to land another combo and hit me from 5 or 6 blocks away. In round 16, my opponent advanced on cavalry, but he and his donkey didn't have very much armor, and so me and my minions killed his donkey, which placed him at a serious disadvantage, and then my minions finished him off for me. I actually barely had to do anything. In round 17, it was the Necromancer versus the Dragon. My minions attacked him while I attacked his minions, and despite being distracted by his minions, me and my undead minions finished off the Dragon. I'm gonna say it, minus round 14 and 15, the Necromancer is the best kit. Round 18, I was up against an archer. I was going to try shooting him back, but my minions kept getting in the way of my aim. At one point, I tried to hide behind blocks, but it still doesn't work to block arrows. But eventually, I got close enough to hit him. That seemed to scare him, and so he started running from me. He kept trying to shoot me, but still missed his shots, and moments later, I gave him a taste of his own medicine. Round 19, I was just placing my minions when my opponent suddenly disappeared. He had an invisibility potion, but my skeletons had seen him and managed to hit him once. That was all I needed to find him and knock the invisibility right out of him. Knowing he was at a disadvantage, he tried to run, which resulted in an extra long round that I just don't want to put in this video because the video is already pretty long, but I chased him long enough that the border began to shrink. Eventually, I got him! Round 20, my opponent had a bow, but I had undead minions. He tried to kill them before I got too close to him, but I was too fast and we exchanged hits. Like the rest of my opponents, he got a combo on me, but my minion stopped him and I got a combo on him. Then he ran, and then I got too close, and he tried to get a combo, but my skeleton stopped him, and I got him down to 2 hearts. Then he started running from me. I tried to shoot him again, but he dodged, and then my bow broke, and so I had to go up to him again, and then I got another hit on him, and he started running again. Then the borders started to close, and I was able to get another hit on him. He regenerates kind of fast. But eventually I caught up to him and finished him off. That round took forever, but I had to quit while I was ahead. But I'm telling you, the Necromancer kit is the ultimate kit. Just look at my win streak. 5 wins in a row. I will take it. It's better than none. Anyways, I decided to move on to Hypixel's relatively newer game, Wool Wars. Emphasis on relatively newer. In Wool Wars, you and your team need to break the blocks in the center of the map and place your team's color before the other team can. There are 6 kits that you can choose, each giving an advantage for your team, but we're not going to go more into that because there's no time for it. Also, this game is best of 5 rounds, but since I've been counting each match I play as a round for some reason, I'm going to pretend that each full game is a round. So this is round 21.1, and I'm using the Assault kit, which gives me a sword, potions, and tools, and a bit of armor. And once the gate opened, I ran over and started killing. The first guy went down easy thanks to my teammate distracting him, and together we put him out of his misery. Then I tried throwing a harming potion at another enemy, but it barely missed him and he was able to get a bunch of shots on me. I healed and was able to fight properly with him, and somehow, despite killing him first, I died right after. Oh well, my teammates placed the blocks and we won that round. Actually, the fate of my team was decided by this player called Fast Kitten, who pretty much 1v4'd everyone, and so I hardly needed to do anything for these short rounds. Round 22.1, I ran straight to the middle of the map and tried to throw my harming potion on the group, but it barely hit anyone and I was knocked to my death. But the blue team was quickly wiped out, and even though the final blue guy was able to kill one of my teammates, he was killed by the second red guy and we won. Never had a doubt. Round 22.2, I picked up a bow and some arrows and tried to get to mid, but was ambushed from the sky and killed instantly. It didn't go any better with my teammates, and so we lost that round. Round 22.3, I began running to mid and tried to engage some of the blues that were below, but I had no idea how slime blocks worked in this game and couldn't get back up to help the team. Actually, I don't know if I could have done anything, but round 22.4, I redeemed myself. I rushed straight to mid and threw the harming potion right onto a blue guy, who apparently died instantly. At least I think he died, there was no confirmation in the chat. Pretty soon the blue team came to avenge their supposedly fallen comrade, and after healing from getting shot, I went to engage but was knocked off the cliff. Luckily I didn't die, and I was able to dodge and kill a blue guy who had a bow. But the last blue guy was already in the center, and if not for an arrow by a teammate, we might have lost that round. Round 22.5, we charged. I knocked off one of the blue guys and helped push another guy off a cliff, and while the rest of my teammates distracted the final blue guy, I placed the final blocks. That was getting intense. In the rounds of 23, we were absolutely destroyed. For starters, round 23.1, my team and I went to the center and started trying to fight the other team, but was killed instantly by just 2 of the other team's players. I tried to run, but somehow he reached me as I was, so we lost. Round 23.2, I picked up a bow, but it was pointless because I just tried to fight with my sword, but I got pinned into a corner and taken out. No, what are you talking about? He's just really good. I'm glad we can agree, though I would like to know how he managed to kill all of us so much. I'm not even going to bother talking about round 23.3 because I was already dead. I decided to switch to the swordsman kit for round 24. The first guy I charged at fell in the lava, and then I assisted in another kill. I then decided to start breaking and replacing the blocks, but right as I placed the winning block... Dad, did you turn off the Wi-Fi again?
Thousands of tears later.
I'm back, and now this is the real round 24.1, and I'm using the swordsman kit again. As soon as the gate opened, I ran to mid like I've been doing and was shot. Usually it wouldn't have done so much damage to me, but the swordsman has the worst armor. But I wasn't paying attention to how much health I had, and I realized I screwed up. Get it? No? Okay. Round 24.2, I changed it back to the assault kit because it did me more good than the other, and started running on the left side of the map where I encountered the same guy from the last round that killed me. But I screwed up again. As long as I keep getting killed by him, I'm going to keep making that joke, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. After my death, I was sure we would lose after the red team started breaking and placing the blocks, but out of nowhere our remaining teammates stopped him just in time. That was close. Round 24.3, I went around the side of the middle again and threw my harming potion at an invisible player, and then chased after one of the archers and caught him by surprise and rushed to distract the final guy while the rest of my team placed the blocks. Round 24.4, I ran and threw my harming potion, which was pretty wasteful since there wasn't even anyone in the vicinity of my potion, so I again just ran and tried to help kill one of the other guys, but the guy killed my teammate, and before I could avenge him, we already won. I guess the sacrifice was worth it. Before round 25.1, I told everyone to fight together because teamwork makes the dream work and all that. Well, my teammates actually did all the work, I was just trying to keep up, but I did help break and place the wool. Round 25.2, I ran to the center and spotted a blue guy breaking the center blocks. I tried to stop him, but forgot to take into account that he was better positioned to knock me into the lava. It wasn't looking good for my team, but then my teammates worked together to stop the blue team from placing all their blocks, and somehow our last player carried us to victory. Round 25.3 started alright, but as I was about to jump, a fly came out of nowhere and flew in my nose, causing me to mess up what should have been an easy jump. But it was fine because my teammates were unstoppable. You know what they say, there's no I in teamwork. Next up, I decided to do 30 rounds of Hypixel's iconic game, Skywars. In Skywars, you need to be the last one standing on an island. You can get items from either a kit you've chosen or from chests scattered on the islands. And in round 26, I did likewise. But I took too long trying to loot the chests on the island, and that can be a pretty big setback because then all of the better items in the middle islands are getting looted by opponents, placing me at a huge disadvantage. But if I don't bridge to mid right at the beginning, then I'm stuck on my island because the moment I start to bridge, I'm definitely going to get knocked down instantly because eggs and snowballs have a lot of knockback, or at least in this game. They should really limit the supply to middle islands or something, I don't know. But there's not really anything for me to do but wait for someone to come to me, which is assuming that they don't just try to shoot me with the bow they acquire in the middle. But at the time I couldn't figure out exactly how to aim with eggs and snowballs or how far they would go since it's slightly different from rods and bows and my supply was squandered. But I did accidentally get an assist credit, so I wouldn't say I was a complete failure. Since I had no idea what I was doing, I knew I was screwed the moment someone bridged over to me. I might have been able to knock him off, but I didn't. The best thing I can have is a good kit, and to get more kits I need to go to the soul well in the lobby with at least 10 souls, which can be attained either from killing other players in a round or spending coins to buy some. I went for the latter and spent all my life savings to pay for the death god to bring me souls. Why did they make such a terrible sound? And so now in round 27 I felt slightly more poor, but more prepared. The kit I chose this time was the Scout, which gave me a level 2 speed potion. After the cage opened, I immediately began looting the island. After the second chest, I drank my potion and started normal bridging. I couldn't tell whether the potion really made a difference when crouching, but I made it to the outside island ring all the same and looted a chest. It had an enchanted iron chestplate, an enchanted diamond helmet, and a fishing rod with knockback 2. That marks the first time ever being able to make it to a good chest. But my excitement was short-lived because when I tried to fight another player with weaker armor, I somehow got pushed back without taking damage and then knocked off the cliff. It's not fair. Round 28, I looted my chest and found a bow and some arrows along with the usual items, but I wasted no time in bridging towards the middle. But when reaching the middle of the map, I tried to shoot another player, but I forgot to aim first. I was hit by a snowball and comboed to death, and for some reason I was glitched backwards again. I followed the player that killed me to make sure she wasn't cheating. Good. Round 29, I looted my island and I probably could have just bridged to the bigger islands, but I was too paranoid. So then I just harassed a player that had already made it to the middle. Then a different guy threw eggs at my face and made me fall in the hole. Then another guy came and started knocking the previous player into the island and killing him. And then another guy came and shot me back into the hole. The two other players were still engaging each other and I tried to knock off the guy with the bow, but I threw it too late and in the wrong spot, which I guess also didn't save the other guy. Then he started ruthlessly shooting me from the island, and after eating a golden apple that was supposed to heal me quickly, he started building up. If I still had some projectiles, I could have just knocked him down, but I didn't, and so I had to build up to meet him. But he shot me again. Please let there be snowballs.
Nope.
He threw me off the cliff. Round 30, I switched to the salmon kit, which gave me 3 water buckets and iron boots in case I didn't want the protection 3 and depth strider leather boots. But after looting the chests on the island, I started bridging but was killed the way I feared the most. Round 31, I was on the same map again apparently, and I grabbed only assorted blocks before bridging to the main island. Without a second thought, I looted a middle chest that had diamond boots and another fishing rod with knockback 2. But I wish it had better armor because I was obliterated by a guy that could click 60 CPS. At least that's what his name said. Round 32, I changed to the ecologist kit, which I guess was just basically for getting blocks quickly to get to the middle island. But after I looted a chest, I threw a snowball at the player and knocked him off the cliff. That was my first solo kill while recording Skywars. Then I started bridging to the other island and made it there safely, but unfortunately the chests were all looted and I had no armor. So the round didn't last much longer. Blitz! Wow, that really boosted my self-esteem. With how things have been going, I realized that trying to win a round was very unlikely, so instead of trying to win, I wanted to try to make it to the top 3 kills. That would be considerably easier since it seems that a lot of the killers on the leaderboards have had at least 1 kill. But now, moving on to round 33, the chests were full of snowballs and so I began bridging right away, hoping to knock another bridger into the void. And I just want to point out that while this isn't professional speed bridging, the 1 millisecond that I'm uncrouched gives me a faster time than staying crouched. I'm learning! But immediately after I got to another island, I tried to hit another player towering up, but even though I hit him, he was knocked to the main island, which really annoyed me. But I bridged to the main island shortly after. I tried to spam snowballs at another player, but that player placed blocks and another player hit me from behind. I ran while the 2 players were deciding who would kill me, and I tried to loot another chest. It had some decent items, but I took too long trying to configure my inventory and I was knocked to my death. Ugh, can't even get 1 kill. Later, while looking for Skywars guides on YouTube.
This video is going to be on solo mode because let's be honest, neither of us have friends, and insane mode because let's be honest, who the heck plays normal? Get out of here.
Insane mode it is. Round 34, I chose the night kit and started looting chests. I was going to start bridging, but a player was waiting to knock me off. I pretended to leave, but doubled back and almost knocked her off, but didn't. She was very angry and shot me. Round 35, I looted my island and then made it to the main island without much trouble, but I couldn't see where the other players were, but I was soon the only one left, and I didn't get any better gear than what I already got from my island. Even though I knew he was probably way more skilled at fighting than me, I keep kicking myself for not just using my sword. What was I gonna do, hook him? Round 36, I changed to the pro kit. It's probably great if you're a pro since it has all you need to get to the middle island quickly, but I am not a pro, so I looted the chests anyways. Then I started bridging. Maybe not yet. I looted the other 2 chests and got almost full diamond armor. After the player left, I decided this was a good time to keep bridging, and I made it all the way to the middle island. Unfortunately, I was stabbed in the back and knocked off the cliff, and I had nearly full diamond! Round 37 was a map that didn't require bridging very far, but after I connected my island to a part of the center island, a guy with springs for feet came at me. But instead of killing me, he blocked off my bridge and very quickly gained to the high ground. I was expecting him to jump behind me and knock me off the edge, but instead he jumped onto the top of the island's cave. I think he was waiting for me to leave the cave so he could get me, but I just stayed put. But then I lost sight of his name tag and I had no idea where he was, until I heard a noise and my neighbor was thrown off his island by the same guy that had closed off my bridge.
What's that behind you?
What?
Well, you did. Ah!
I tried again at getting kits and got a kit that gives me a single ender pearl, only usable in insane mode. So at the start of round 38, I selected the Enderman kit and discovered that the ender pearl has a 30-second delay, which starts once the cage is open, and although it does solve the problem of getting knocked off as I try to bridge, it grants the still faster bridgers the chance to get all the loot in the middle of the map before me, but it's still significantly safer for me. Or not.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Okay, on the real round 38, I looted the island for armor and weapons and then ender pearled to the middle. Oh, but like I said before, the speed bridgers could still go faster than I could wait for 30 seconds, but I got one guy on the run and there was another guy that had low armor. Easy cut. What? Round 39, I looted for the usual items, but this time got snowballs and eggs, and when I went back up, some guy was trying to bridge. But he was fast and high enough that when I finally hit him with my snowballs, he just fell right back onto his island instead of the void, and he began shooting me. Rather than fighting him, I teleported to mid. Unfortunately, I ran into a juggernaut. Blech! Within 35 seconds of round 40 starting, a guy bridged super fast and didn't take any knockback, so I reported him because there's no way that's possible. Round 41 lasted approximately 18 seconds because somehow a guy bridged super fast. After seeing just how fast he could bridge, I reported him too. I know that sort of bridging is possible in the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, but there's no way they can bridge like that in Java Minecraft without hacks. But then after rejoining Hypixel later, the admins informed me that my recent reports were looked over and punishments were issued. Don't cheat, I'll report you. Round 42, after looting the island, I was threatened by another guy on another island, so I knocked him into his island cave and then threw my pearl. This time I actually got a decent chest at the right time, but only took the enchanted diamond boots. The island I teleported to was only a small chunk, and I would need to bridge to get to the middle island. But then a guy that did make it to middle started shooting me, and in no time I was dead. Round 43, I got 2 stacks of snowballs from the island chest, which I then used to knock a player into the void. Soon after going back to the top of my island, I spotted another player that had just finished bridging to another island chunk. I kept bombarding him with snowballs, but he didn't get knocked into the void and started shooting me with the bow he got from a chest. So I tried teleporting to him so I could melee him, but I didn't have the right keybinds, so I couldn't switch to my sword fast enough, so I tried to hit him off the island, but I forgot about sprint resetting and was unable to. So instead I fell off. Hey, I killed a guy, where's my place? Round 44, looted chest, hit player, missed island, slow bridge, tricky jumped, then died. Round 45, I looted and immediately pearled to the larger island and started trying to kill the nearest player. He tried to run around the building and supposedly knock me from behind, but I somehow managed to kill him first. I hardly got a break because almost immediately after, another player started trying to kill me, but somehow I managed to kill that player too. But when I tried to loot the items, more players came and I tried to knock one of them into the void, but unfortunately he had some serious knockback and killed me. But that didn't matter because killing 2 players got me to the top 3 killers, and that was my goal. Round 46, after looting my island, I tried to knock my neighbor into the void, but he dodged just in time and started shooting me. I should really remember to throw my pearl. Round 47, I looted my island and teleported to the larger island and started looting those chests, but right before I reached my 3rd chest, I was attacked. I tried to knock him into the void, but he didn't take any knockback. He can't be cheating. I mean, look at him, hack. Round 48, after looting my island, I tried to knock my neighbor into the void, but they were protected by the blocks they placed, so instead I just teleported to the center and obliterated a guy that didn't have any good armor. Unfortunately, another guy came behind me and got me in a combo lock and killed me. But my 1 kill earned me a place in the top 3 killers, so that was still a win. Round 49 was the most scuffed round out of all the other rounds, and you'll see why in a couple of seconds. It started when I grabbed the nearest snowballs and immediately knocked my neighbor into the void. After I finished looting my island, I pearled to the outer ring of the map. Since there wasn't really anyone on the outer ring and everyone was just falling off, I ran around while waiting for the chests to refill so I could hopefully get some more projectiles. And after they finally did refill, and I looted some of them, I spotted the final player, and once I got close enough, I tossed the poison potion and began clicking fast. But he had an enchanted fishing rod that knocked me off the island. With hardly any time, I threw a pearl. I landed on top of a tree and tried to take him off guard and knock him off the island, but he didn't take any damage, and shortly after I was back in the tree. This is called server lag and rubber banding, the most unfortunate part of playing any online game, and when I mentioned scuffed, this is kind of what I meant. After a minute of everything lagging and such, the game finally registered me as dead, but I'm going to count this round as a tie. If not for the lag, I would have won. Also, I get bonus points for an epic pearl clutch, but I had to wait a while for the server ping to go lower because 1000 ping almost guarantees laggy games.
2 days later.
Later, I finally did a round 50 and started off by shooting a guy that had the frog kit until he committed suicide, then teleported to the middle where someone had been killed so I was able to get a diamond sword. But the next person I met killed me from either my lag or him hacking, though after following him decided to report him. On the bright side though, I still managed to get to the top 3 killers, so even though I lost, I once again still won. Round 51, it seems that everyone could speed bridge, so I waited for everyone to kill each other and then teleported to the bigger island. But the final guy got stuck in blocks somehow and was suffocating, so I ended up winning just by not doing anything. Yes! Round 52 was when it really started getting interesting. It started off with me looting and then throwing eggs at my neighbor until he fell off the island, and then teleporting to a chest on another island and getting a protection 4 diamond chest plate, and then making a perfect jump to the main part of the island. Then I ended up killing another player with nearly full diamond armor. But with how many times I'd died after opening my inventory, I was too paranoid to try and put on the diamond helmet or use the anvil to increase the sharpness on my diamond sword. But despite these 2 mistakes, I found the final player who was above me. I started to shoot the player with my bow, but realized I was throwing snowballs instead, and so switched to my bow. I managed to hit him with an arrow, but the lag was making it difficult to shoot him properly, and I only managed to hit him twice, 2 separate times. Ooh, chest! Ow! But before I could even begin to think about healing myself, the player dropped down and we engaged. Despite being shot a lot, my opponent sustained a significant amount of fall damage. Unfortunately for me, my opponent was a true pro. Oh well, I still made it to the top 3, and that's what's important, I guess. Round 53, I was killed by someone's dad, but at least it wasn't somebody's mom. Round 54, I killed a player and then got killed. I didn't even bother waiting to see if I got to the top 3 with that single kill. Round 55 was probably the best round so far. After looting my island and then knocking a player into the void, I teleported to mid and went into a dark room where people were murdering each other. Without a second thought, I started killing everyone in the area for a grand total of 4 kills. I might have been able to heal myself and start looting, but since the room was dark, I couldn't see that there was another player nearby until he was already killing me. But you know what? This video is about PvP, and I think killing 3 people in a row is the best victory. Especially since I was able to be the #1 killer that round. After looking up Skywars strats one final time.
Would you please stop imitating me? It is starting to get very annoying.
Also, this isn't like strictly important, but it's a really nice thing to learn. Have your volume high enough to hear people's footsteps, because then if some nerd's sneaking up on you, you can hear him.
Well, I don't know how that could help me very much, but he was the expert, so I guess I'll give it a try. In fact, I'll just put it into overdrive. That should make it louder. Now let's see if that helps. Now that I've moved houses, it's time for the final game, Bedwars. I know some of you probably just decided to skip the rounds before this, since Bedwars is probably the most viewed Minecraft minigame on Hypixel. So this is what I'll play for the rest of the video. In Bedwars, you need to defend your bed while simultaneously trying to break everyone else's bed, and the last man standing wins. Bedwars is definitely nothing new to me, but I've never won by myself, so I decided to do a couple of team games, starting with a team game of 4v4v4v4. Round 56, I happened to know a trick where I could stand on the edge of the resource generator, and when other players collected items, it caused a duplication glitch, giving me tons of items quickly and allowing me to begin covering our bed with some expensive endstone. And after getting a couple more resources, I bought more blocks, the cheapest armor upgrade, and a stone sword, and put the rest of my resources and some TNT into an ender chest to save for later, and I started going in the direction of Yellow's base, but I ran into a yellow guy who had a wooden sword. That engagement was brief. But shortly after getting the diamonds from the diamond generator, the same guy came back and killed me. But he wasn't satisfied because after I respawned, he was using my bridge to get to my team's base, and after I tried to get to him, he towered up and knocked me off the bridge. After rushing to defend the bed, he was nowhere to be seen. Ah, he's right there! I guess he was trying to buy something. I bought more resources and recovered our bed with wool. And then I tried getting to the yellow bed by taking the high ground, but I immediately realized that I didn't have enough blocks for that. After going back down, I was about to try going on Yellow's bridge when the same previous yellow player ran to me. In a panic, I tried to build up, sadly not in time to stop any damage. But after getting knocked down, I had the chance to knock him into the void. This is called karma. Now I just have to sneak behind their base and— ah, dang it! I grabbed my TNT and more blocks and began going to— I used my death as an opportunity to get more items. Good thing too, because after buying a fireball, another yellow had bought an item called a bridge egg, which leaves a block trail in the direction the egg was thrown. I swiftly put an end to his attempt. It occurred to me after buying shears and starting to dismantle the bridge that I could use the bridge myself, so I did. After trying to bridge the gap, a yellow guy attempted to stop me, but I stopped him first. With him in the void, I jumped onto the yellow bridge and ran as fast as I could to Yellow's base. Once I got to the end, I began building up to avoid being overwhelmed by the yellow team. Sadly, I was blown sky high. Yellow took the high ground, and in Bedwars, if you don't have the high ground, you're dead. And seconds after dying, our bed was destroyed. One of my teammates killed the yellow guy, and since I died while we still had our bed, I was able to respawn one final time. My remaining team and I had a last stand, and I used my knockback stick to propel a yellow guy away. I nearly died, but managed to land the finishing blow on the yellow guy. Despite our best efforts, my team all died, and I was knocked into the void by a fireball. Not really the best way to start off, but round 57 was much better. I got some wool and had just finished placing it around our bed when one of my teammates brought over some endstone, so we started placing that instead, and then I covered the stone with wool. I saw some of my teammates fall into the void and then noticed that their bridge connected to an island with a diamond generator, so I just grabbed a diamond and ran back. Diamonds are very important for buying upgrades for yourself and your team, but since I only had one, I did the only logical thing and bought a mining fatigue trap. Then I noticed that my teammate's bridge to an emerald generator island was complete, and I ran over it and grabbed some emeralds. If I had to choose any resource to have tons of, it would definitely be emeralds, since I can use them to buy even better armor, weapons, or other useful items. I used these emeralds for bridge eggs, the same thing the yellow guy from the previous round tried to use, but I stored them in the ender chest for later. Anyways, the yellow team really seems to have issues when I'm playing, and so I started going after them with one of my teammates. He rushed back to his base, and so I decided to tower up to get to the high ground, when I noticed yellow was doing the exact same thing. But while I was building up, I fell down and I was alerted that my trap had been triggered. In a panic, I killed myself to get back to our base quicker, which was in vain since my teammates had already taken care of the intruder. I definitely didn't accidentally fall off. It seems that the blue and green team had already lost their bed, and so that left yellow with the only other bed. My teammate was already trying to get them, and I figured I'd use my fireball to blast away some of the wool on yellow's bed for them. Then I started trying to go to green space in hopes of killing them, but they had several iron golems defending them, so instead of PvPing them, I just decided to disassemble green's bridge. I had shears, so why not? Well, the green team didn't like that very much. I went back to resource gathering and finally bought some iron armor. Gold doesn't generate as fast as iron does. Then I took my bridge egg and threw it towards yellow's base, and right as I was running over it, I spotted a yellow guy towering up. I tried to knock him off, but he pretty much took no knockback and threw me off the bridge. But it was okay because a teammate used my bridge to destroy their bed, leaving us with the only bed. I decided now was the time to fully gear up and get the rest of the players, but by the time I was ready, we'd already won.
Ah! Where all the smoke come from? I can't see!
In the last round, I pretty much did nothing, but in round 58, I did better. After covering our bed with hardened clay, I began bridging to a diamond generator close by our base and grabbed 4 diamonds, which I used for buying mining haste. But after getting a few more diamonds, a teammate broke the blue team's bed, and after I bought chainmail armor, I spotted a blue guy that was trying to get us back. He was towering up, and so I had to build up to meet him. He jumped down to kill me, but I knocked him down for my teammates to kill him instead. I meant to do that, don't question it. After a few more runs to the diamonds generator, I had enough diamonds to get my team better armor and a mining fatigue trap. Then I finally went to the middle island on my teammate's very large bridge. I saw a lot of players running to yellow space, so I just decided to blow up their bridge. Somehow, no one fell off the bridge, so I decided to check if he was real. He was. Then I followed a teammate to red space. I tried to help him, but I couldn't kill red fast enough, and I tried to get to the bed, but the defense was too thick and there was too many reds, so I killed myself. I bought an axe so I could penetrate the defenses, but I didn't take into account that they might have endstone too. I put up quite a fight, managing to kill 2 red guys and bought my teammate enough time to destroy red's bed. I didn't last much longer, but that was when my trap went off. After respawning, I saw the red guy, but I forgot whose team I was on. A struggle ensued and I was able to get him low enough for my teammates to finish him off. Afterwards, I bought a knockback stick and a fireball and saw my teammate bridging to yellow's base, where a lot of yellows were trying to build up to meet him. I tried to fireball them, but even though it hit them, none of them fell into the void. It was a miracle. So instead, I went to mid and killed a yellow guy for emeralds and ran to an abandoned base to buy a diamond sword. I would have gotten diamond armor, but I didn't have enough emeralds. I put the sword in my ender chest while I bought an invisibility potion and another fireball, but I was informed that my bed was destroyed, which now meant we were at the end game. I forgot to take my diamond sword out of my ender chest and instead took an iron sword and an invisibility potion, and after drinking it, I built to red space where my teammate was getting killed by red. And I misclicked and used my fireball on red's already broken bed defense, so red probably knew I was coming. Despite that though, I made it to red space without being seen. I would have attacked him, but he had diamond armor, and a name tag with the timer told me that he had an iron golem. I didn't know what to do, and so I sneaked in and waited for the iron golem to despawn. Eventually, a yellow guy came and killed the red guy. After he left, I took it as an opportunity to go into the base and buy a fireball, and get my diamond sword. While I waited for the yellow guys to find me, I kept buying fireballs. With how many I got, I could have bought my own iron golem. But eventually, a yellow guy saw me and tried to shoot me with his bow, so I tried to knock him into the void with my fireballs. But after a fireball was knocked back behind me, I heard a player taking damage, and I saw the other yellow player. He actually went down pretty easy from the fireballs he blew himself up with. I used the diamonds he dropped to buy myself protection armor, and shortly after was met by the last player. It was a close fight, but he won. But hey, second to last player alive isn't bad. Round 59, I started bridging to some green guy who seemed like he would come for us. He fell into the void, so I was able to bridge to his bridge no problem. But green came back, and so I changed that using some very specific parts of my hand. Green space was open, and I thought I might have been able to get their bed, but they already had a blindness trap, and after trying to build up to avoid any encounters, I was fireballed.
Oh no!
Shortly after respawning and getting more resources, Green used my bridge to get to our base. We engaged, but he was higher than I was, and soon after our bed was gone. I got him back, of course, and I also managed to survive for a while and kill them repeatedly, but I definitely didn't win this round. Round 60, I bought a fireball and ran over my team's bridge and tried to blow up blue. But barely missed, so early on blue already had control of the middle island. But while I was trying to bridge to blue's base, I spotted a yellow guy running to our base. My dumb teammates were trying to replace the defense with better blocks, but they took too long, so the round didn't last much longer. In round 61, I realized that the reason people were able to move so quickly was because the people who bridged right away relied on their teammates to build defenses while they did other things, and so I realized that I needed to do that. So I started bridging to the diamond gen right away, and I was the first person to get diamonds, and eventually I was able to afford to buy reinforced armor for my team, which reminded me that I hadn't bought any better armor this round yet. Then Red connected their bridge to ours, which posed a problem to my team, so I knew I had to get them. But there was a watchman. If I were to start placing blocks or walking on blocks, their watchman would fireball me, which was definitely going to make it harder.
Oh no!
Since I wasn't likely to make it over to Red Team's bridge, I bought a fireball so I could continue getting diamonds. By the way, I built my bridge to be tricky to go across, and my teammate demonstrated. Anyways, after I got to the diamond gen, there was a red player who I swiftly blew up and then killed. But the red team's watchman was still on duty, and reinforcements arrived to kill me. Red took him down with me. I went back to Red's base again, but the watchman now had a bow. I realized I was focusing too much on the reds, and I figured this was getting pointless. And I'm glad I thought so, because that was when I noticed a floating sword, a trap was getting triggered, and suddenly TNT appeared and blasted me off the cliff.
Oh no!
Luckily, after respawning, the invisible person didn't know the items they were holding were visible, and so I knocked out his invisibility. He had diamond armor, and so I didn't have much chance of killing him anyway, but the important thing is he's no longer invisible. I tried to get green back, but they had a blindness trap, so I couldn't see them, and I was already falling. But that was probably a good thing, because the red guy tried to break our bed, and I stopped him just in time. Then I blew away another one. Unfortunately, a few of my teammates had disconnected, leaving no one to pay attention to who was attacking or who had an invisibility potion until our bed was gone. And I thought Red was going to get us.
Give me all your money!
Thank you. But while me and my last teammate were trying to get to Red's base, a fireball blew my teammate away and I ran back to our base. Upon returning, a red guy was coming to our base and I tried to place my new iron golem, but it wasn't in a good spot, and by the time my golem got close enough, I was comboed to death. But the iron golem still killed him after I died. It was hilarious. In the end, Red won, but I had the second highest number of kills, so I have that going for me. Round 62, I did my best to get green, but I just couldn't, and the red team broke our bed right as green killed me. Round 63, the green team got to the diamond gen early, but I bridged to it too.
Hey man, let's jump down to this island and settle this peacefully.
Okay. The green guy was saved by a teammate. I decided to connect to the bridge to the middle island so we could get emeralds, but I was ambushed by a yellow guy. After respawning and getting more items, I ran to the middle and tried to get emeralds again, but this time the green team was there and killed me. I ran back again and almost killed a green guy, but rubber banding occurred and then I couldn't escape. Without any items, I ran straight to green space and tried to knock the players into the void so I could have enough time to break their bed, but none of them took knockback. How? Who knows? Then I decided it was finally time to buy some better armor so I could hopefully take more hits now, but I really should have tried to do that earlier. Want to see the greatest block placing strategy ever? I wasn't actually sure if that would work. This time after respawning, I remembered to buy iron armor, which came in handy when the green team invaded so I could kill them both and get their items. But with our bed destroyed, I just decided to play it for time and bought a bunch of fireballs, an iron sword, and 1 TNT. Instead of dragging on about how this round finished, I'll just leave it as green guy came, and even though I killed the green guy, he hit me off the cliff. Round 64, I began bridging to diamonds again, but after I got them, realized that our bed was already being attacked and I rushed back to help. Unfortunately, my bridge was used by the green team. I tried to stop them, but I think I made it worse. But once again, instead of describing my last stand, as well as talking about my fireball mishap while trying to get another bed, I'll just cut to the chase and say that it came down to just my remaining teammate and me against the only team left with the bed. And if you think that gives us a chance, you need some serious help. But I would argue that the rubber banding had an effect on my loss of the fight. Round 65 was the best 4v4v4v4 round so far, even though I fell off a lot at the beginning. But in that time, my teammates rushed green's bed, and what ensued was the whole green team trying to get our bed as revenge. But me and my teammates made short work of them, and not long after all the greens were dead, the blue team destroyed red's bed, which meant there was only one other team left. Sadly, there's more to this round, but bear with me. I wanted to get emeralds, and the only way to get them is on the bigger islands, and after getting 2 emeralds, I encountered a blue guy. It was a very close fight, and I was sure the rubber banding would be against me, but I barely won the fight. After going back to base, I bought some bridge eggs and put one in the ender chest before going back out, and once I was close enough, I threw it to blue space. I tried to use my fireball to blast away some of blue's bed defense, but it didn't work out too well, and I died. If I had some TNT, it might have done a little more damage. But my teammate bought some TNT, and so I followed him and tried to help break the blue's bed, but we were unsuccessful. I decided I had to do something useful, and so I tried collecting some emeralds again. Hey, there isn't enough space. Move! Luckily, I managed to bring some home, and after a few more trips, I got enough to buy some diamond armor. You know it's going to be a good round when you get some diamond armor, and with my teammates buying armor upgrades, I had armor with protection 3. Despite the level of armor I had, I still needed better everything else, and so I grabbed my last bridge egg and went to Red's abandoned base to get more resources from the generator, which now gave me enough to buy an iron sword, and once I had killed a blue guy that tried to sneak up behind me and got 20 more gold, I bought some TNT. With my TNT, I was able to blow up Blue's bed defense, and I could see the bed, but I was knocked into the void by my own TNT, and apparently took another guy down with me. But it was only a matter of time before one of my teammates was able to break Blue's bed, and after stocking up on weapons, I went and single-handedly knocked 2 blues into the void. And thanks to the direction of the shopkeeper's head, I'd pinpointed where the final blue was. It was a pretty good game. Oh, and I got the second highest number of kills. A bit of a time gap from the last time I played, but it's time to play 3v3v3v3 Bedwars. Round 66, I started bridging to diamonds, and with the 3 diamonds I collected, I bought a miner fatigue and a "it's a trap" trap. But shortly after doing so, I spotted a green guy trying to go over my bridge. Luckily, he didn't make any further attempts at getting us after my teammate jumped into the void. It's connected somehow. I could see blue team going to green space, and I thought it might be helpful to fireball some of green's bed defense. It didn't do much, so I just bought some iron armor instead. I wanted to help kill green, but by the time I got there, they were all dead. So I was going to try and kill this blue guy, but then his bed was destroyed. Instead of fighting, blue ran away, and I almost fireballed him. Shortly after buying a knockback stick, the last red just so happened to be coming over, and I began chasing him. I probably would have gotten him, but a blue guy in diamond armor was nearby, and so I decided to run back to— Ah! We were the only team left with the bed, so after respawning I bought fireballs, and not long after, a blue guy was trying to bridge to us. Unfortunately, he was lucky enough not to fall into the void. But a few seconds later, red assaulted my teammate, and I had to use the rest of my fireballs to keep him at bay. But then both blues were now poised to strike our bed, and since they had the high ground and I had no blocks, it definitely wasn't looking good. Blue placed TNT, and I was sure it would be all over since our bed was exposed and I didn't have any blocks, but neither of the blues jumped down, possibly intimidated by our iron golem, and I was able to reach one of the blues and hit him down. And get his diamonds. But red started bridging to the top of our base, which posed a problem. Luckily, I was able to take out the last blue guy, which freed us up to kill red. But by the time I was ready, red ran away. The red guy was clever and prevented us from being able to get emeralds and kept killing me and my teammates repeatedly until the clock ticked closer to the time when all the beds would be destroyed. Then he'd started camping on a roof, and we tried our best to kill him, but he kept blocking the stairs. Unfortunately, his plan succeeded and we weren't able to kill him before our bed was broken. Well played. I practiced speed bridging the right way so that I had more of a chance in Bedwars, and so in round 67 I immediately bridged to the middle island, and only fell after reaching the island. Whoops-a-daisy. With my teammate, I tried to get green's bed, but we both failed. After respawning, I bought some tools to break the defense faster and tried to get green's bed again, but I failed again. So I tried again, but this time I actually killed a green guy. But for some reason, green was now trying to break our bed, and he was so close that when I barely managed to kill him, I could see the bed. Unfortunately, I was too distracted killing a blue guy that I didn't see yellow come and break our bed. I wasn't going down without a fight, and so I kept fireballing the yellows, and one guy I killed dropped a few items. Using the items, I bought another fireball and— Dad, did you turn off the Wi-Fi again? I'm trying to make a video. Let me waste my life.
One long, angry line later.
Round 68 only lasted about 5 minutes. Blue team was the only team left with the bed, and I tried to get blue's bed, but I was attacked by blue and I blew myself into the void. Round 69, red used a blitzkrieg, and so the round was lost early on. It was pretty clear that I couldn't rely on my teammates to thicken our bed defense, so in round 70 I decided I had to apply every defense material I could afford, and I made our bed defense 4 layers thick and made it blast proof using water. With the bed defense done, I collected diamonds and was able to afford some reinforced armor and a mining fatigue trap. There was no way anyone was getting the bed anytime soon. I meant to go to the middle island next, but I was determined to prevent red from invading. At one point, me and my teammate tried to get red's bed, and before making it to the base, I fireballed the defense, but it ended up not doing nearly as much damage as I would have liked, and since I didn't have a pickaxe, I just tried to kill as many reds as I could so my teammate could penetrate the defense. But he apparently fell into the void, and I tried to escape but met a similar fate. But then green ended up destroying red's bed shortly after I died, so I guess I was successful to a certain degree. I saw a remaining red guy running to green space, and so I speed bridged to mid so I could help him out. But I guess he didn't need help because moments later green's bed was gone. But I didn't notice and was very displeased when red killed me. I thought they realized I was trying to help. Oh, right. Anyways, this meant that red team was the last team, and my team was the only one with the bed, and I was definitely determined not to let the red team win again. One of the red guys was trying to get our bed, and I was so close to killing him, but he killed me. Luckily, he was trying to wait out the effects of my mining fatigue trap, and so he didn't get our bed, but I couldn't reach him and could only distract him long enough for my teammate to get a fireball, but by the time he finally did, red ran away. and then fell into the void. My teammate fought another red with diamond armor and knocked him down, but even though he lost the fight, the red fell into the void too. But like in round 61, the last red kept his way by blowing up the bridge. Since I wouldn't be able to use the bridge, I knew the only way to get to him would be to TNT jump, where I jump right when the TNT blows up and get propelled forward. The only way it works is if I can time it properly, and on my first attempt I jumped too early. I bought a fireball which I hoped would work like the TNT, and was going to get one of the spare stone swords from the chest, but nope. Well, guess I won't be jumping with a fireball. But I was able to buy some TNT and try to boost myself again, but this time I was too late. Nope. Then my teammate disconnected, meaning now it was a 1v1. There were only 5 minutes left in this game, and Red tried to fireball me again. He failed, and so he tried to shoot me with his bow, but he was either too far or was bad at shooting. I fireballed him back because I thought it would do something. I went back to my base to buy another fireball, but right when I was going back to him, I apparently won. How? Let's check the replay footage. So he just ceased to exist? Well, alright, I'll take it. Round 71, after building a thick bed defense, one of my teammates and I tried to break Yellow's bed, but to no surprise, we were obliterated. Twice! I was on my way to get Yellow's bed again when I saw a name tag and started trying to kill a Yellow at the diamond generator. I also lost that fight. Twice! After respawning again, I bought some chainmail armor to hopefully increase my survival chances, and then a Yellow came to try to get her bed. Luckily, my armor did prolong my life and I was able to win that fight, and with the items he dropped, I bought a golden apple to help heal faster, bought another mining fatigue trap, and bought a fireball. I'll give you one guess as to what I did next. If you thought I was going to get Yellow's bed, you would be wrong, because I didn't even make it past the diamond island that was connecting. Yellow tried to get our bed, and I almost killed him, but he got too high for me to reach. Then I heard the sound of blocks being placed and stopped another Yellow from penetrating the defense. Unfortunately, I couldn't stop the other Yellow guy from breaking the bed, but I was able to knock him into the void. Nothing else of notability happened, so I'll end the round here. Round 72, since my teammates were already going on the offensive, I decided it was up to me to cover the bed even more, and very sloppily got to work. Then, with some iron armor and blocks, I went to middle to get emeralds and tried to get to the top floor to see if there were any there, but I ran into a green guy, and despite having way better armor than him, he killed me easily. I tried to get revenge by breaking Green's bed, but one of them killed themselves and respawned in time to stop me. Let's see, how many more times did I try to get them this round? Well, I'm going to make a long story short because I tried to get them 4 times, but I was nowhere near close enough to getting their bed. But by this point, there were finally some emeralds in the generators, but when I rushed back, Green had followed me. Luckily, he couldn't do much. I went to collect some diamonds, but when I was coming back, Blue blew up our defense and very nearly broke our bed, so I used the diamonds to buy 3 mining fatigue traps, which I didn't know I could do until now, but was also a little pointless. Then I noticed Green was coming and he was wearing diamond armor. Even though they were retreating, I knew we weren't going to last much longer, so I used my emeralds to buy an invisibility potion and a jump boost potion to help me win my next fight. And it's a good thing I did, because 2 blues were trying to get to our bed, and even though they knocked out my invisibility, they were no match for my bounce potion. Unfortunately, Green had apparently snuck into our base and broken our bed. I tried to kill Green, but I'm starting to think they were cheating or something. Round 73 went way faster than I was expecting. While Yellow attacked and my team was narrowly stopping them from breaking our bed, both Red and Blue lost their beds, and after several attacks from Yellow, I beefed up our defense while one of my teammates broke Yellow's bed. Without their bed, the round was already our victory. Round 74 lasted exactly 2 minutes. The entire Red team used overwhelming force. I was really hoping to win round 75. I had just finished covering my team's bed when Red came out of nowhere, but I killed him easily. Red was our neighbor, and so we kept defending against them until eventually Yellow team conveniently got their bed for us. Unfortunately for us, as the game progressed, I discovered that the Yellow team was very difficult to kill with my skill level, and with the Yellow obtaining diamond armor, killing them was even harder. I did my best to reinforce our bed, but I was caught by surprise from a Yellow guy and our bed was broken, and after respawning I tried to kill another Yellow with diamond armor, and I might have been able to combo him to death if his teammate didn't save him. Guess 75 isn't my lucky number. In the rounds of Bedwars doubles, I wanted to get a friend to join me because for some reason every time I joined Bedwars doubles my teammate leaves the game right at the beginning, but he wouldn't. At the time of recording I never found someone to play with in time, so I had to re-queue the game after my teammate would leave the game or when the game doesn't give me a teammate. This is doubles, not solo. I'm saving that for later. But round 76 only lasted about a minute. I covered the bed with 1 layer of wool when I noticed that Blue was trying to get to us, but when I tried to meet them I fell off my bridge, and they used it to get to our bed. Round 77, my teammate was an actual pro and bought tons of team upgrades and was breaking a lot of the beds, so all I had to do was defend our bed, which I was entirely successful at. Round 78 had a slight team imbalance because the red team took out pretty much all the beds. My teammate and I defended our bed and eventually we were the only team left. But red covered himself with wool to buy himself time to break our bed defense, and I tried to blow away the blocks he covered himself with, but that literally backfired. Round 79, I was the distraction while my teammate destroyed Aqua's bed. Then I went back and killed the last Aqua for his resources, which resulted in 3 emeralds and conveniently was the amount I still needed to get some diamond armor. I knew Grey Team covered their bed in obsidian, so I needed to buy a pickaxe to mine it, but when trying to get their bed, Grey quickly overpowered me. When dying, my pickaxe will lose 1 level of efficiency, and so I need to be careful when I decide to level up my pickaxe. But unlike a sword, I can't store it in an ender chest, so with my 1 extra level I tried to get to Grey's bed again, but I just barely didn't make it. We had a close call when Grey tried to get our bed. He fireballed it twice before bridging over it and placing TNT, but my teammate used wool to make the defense just barely big enough to resist the blast from the TNT, and while my teammate went after him, I began recovering our bed. Then Grey came back, and with more TNT, the blast knocked me away from the bed and I couldn't stop him. Luckily, thanks to my diamond armor and iron sword, I was able to kill him and take his emeralds. I used the emeralds to buy an invisibility potion and used the rest of my gold to upgrade my pickaxe all the way to diamond. But after using my potion and trying to cross a bridge, I was somehow hit from behind and lost my invisibility and was fireballed. I probably could have survived the blast, but I fell off in anticipation. Round 80, pink team was relentless in trying to get our bed, but then a red came over and showed them how it was done. Miraculously, I was able to kill them all shortly after respawning. I might be getting good at killing distracted players, but after trying to get emeralds, yellow killed me. Round 81, Grey tried to get our bed several times, but they finally got us when one of them was a distraction while the other covered himself within our defense and broke our bed. And when you're right next to a ledge, you know you won't last much longer. I dare say that round 82 was the best Bedwars doubles game I've ever done since playing 1.8 PvP, and you'll see why soon. Pink team tried to go to bed after I finished covering it, but I forced them to stop, and then I went to their base, and after killing Pink again to make sure I didn't lose anything, I grabbed my gold, bought some TNT, and placed it on Pink's bed. To keep myself from getting blown off the cliff, I went behind the block that was behind the TNT, and when Pink hit me, I was able to suppress my knockback. Then I killed the Pink person again and broke their bed. That marks the first time I've broken a bed in this video. The other Pink tried to get her bed, but my teammate got him after I died, so Pink team was eliminated. With Pink team gone, I was able to go to their base to use the resource generator and afford some iron armor. Later, my teammate bridged to Red's abandoned base, which was next to Blue's base, and also being used by Blue, and after my teammate blew up a portion of Blue's bed defense, I decided I had to see if I could get their bed. What am I going to do now that I'm up here? Well, to be honest, I didn't really think that far. But then I fell, and I was so sure that I was going to die, but then I single-handedly killed both Blues. I know, I was surprised too. With very low health, I retreated to the top of their base. When a Blue came to kill me, I was able to kill him almost easily using a strategy called W tapping, where I keep tapping the W key on my keyboard and reset my knockback, allowing me to very effectively get combos on my enemies. As seen here, it's very effective, and I was able to stay alive for quite a while. Eventually, I got bored of killing them both over and over again, so I let them kill me so I can respawn back at base. After respawning, I bought a different trap called Counteroffensive, which will be handy later in the round. After doing that, I got more blocks and TNT and went back to Blue's base. Once I was above, I placed TNT and waited for it to blow up before placing my second TNT, but I was knocked down from behind, so when I placed my second TNT, I basically blew myself into the void like in round 65. But it was alright because now Blue's bed defense was much weaker. This next time, I bought another TNT and a fully leveled out efficiency pickaxe. I ran above Blue's base and tried placing my TNT, but I fell off my platform. Luckily, I was able to blow away one Blue and kill the other, but their bed was also covered with wood, which my pickaxe couldn't break fast enough, and so I couldn't last much longer. So I bought an axe and leveled it up as much as I could afford and bought some TNT. It seemed that this time Blue tried really hard to stop me, but my W tapping won over the first Blue, and after my TNT blew up their defense, they tried really hard to stop me, but I killed them both again and broke their bed, which resulted in a level up for me apparently. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to kill them again, but with their bed gone and pretty much every other team's, thanks to my teammate, my team is the only one left with the bed. But it was probably a good thing I died because Cyan was attacking, but my W tapping was too much for even his diamond armor to overcome, and together me and my teammate killed the last Cyan. I bought some fireballs with the iron I saved up and spotted a Blue bridging to middle. It was too good to mess up. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if someone attacked us while you're trying to increase our Oh, called it! Crap, he's invisible! Miraculously, I was able to expertly combo the last green guy and I took his resources. This now meant that there was only one player left. Blue. To find the last Blue, I went to an emerald generator and I used the emeralds to buy a compass that points to where the last player is hiding. Aha! I ran back to base as fast as I could and my counter-offensive trap was triggered. This trap, once triggered, made me and my teammate temporarily faster and jump higher than the Blue, so me and my teammate chased him off the edge. And with that, my teammate and I won, and I had 23 kills. Round 83, I bridged over White's bed, but I didn't have anything to penetrate their defense, so I could only bring up my kill count by killing them until I died. After respawning, I bought some TNT and blew up their defense. Wait, where is it? What do you mean it was already destroyed? When? My teammate was very disappointed in me. I ran to the middle and was able to acquire enough emeralds for a diamond armor, and after buying it, jumped into the void to get back to my base faster. And after respawning, I bought an iron sword. Good thing too, because yellow was attacking. If not for rubber banding, I might have been hit into the void and lost our bed, so thanks to that, I saved our bed. Unfortunately, my teammate had decided to quit before even seeing if our bed would be destroyed. Not that it mattered, my chances of survival were small even after. Round 84 started off a little like this.
Come here, Cyan. Those emeralds will be.
Wait, what? Why aren't you taking damage? Are you hacking? Or am I about to get disconnected? Wait a second. Why are my blocks cyan? Oh.
You idiot.
But the round isn't fully summarized yet, and so after my small brain moment, I started trying to get emeralds. And that's why I always go for diamonds. Finally, I did manage to get some emeralds by killing a green guy, and I bought some diamond armor. And since my teammate wasn't having an identity crisis, he'd been buying several enchantments, giving me Prot 3 armor. After buying a bounce potion with my leftover emeralds and also buying TNT, I tried to do something useful and break Green's bed, but they had obsidian around their bed and placed an iron golem. Luckily, with my jump potion, I was able to get away and not die, so I took the emeralds I accidentally picked up and collected a few more emeralds. But when I was trying to get back to our base, Red was invading. One of the Reds had diamond armor and was blocking the way to my base, so I wasn't able to help my teammate defend the bed, and the other Red guy jumped down. No, this round isn't over yet, it's still going and I killed him. The other Red guy was trying to escape, but he met a similar fate. With my emeralds, I bought a diamond sword and another bounce potion, and with the items from the generator, I bought an iron golem. Shortly after, Green came to kill me, but he was no match for me. But now I had low health, and after eating a golden apple, a yellow came to finish me off. I placed my iron golem as a distraction and just managed to kill him. I was pretty surprised how quickly he killed my golem. After my near-death experience, I decided I had to defend myself at my base, so I used the gold I'd saved up to buy a power bow and some arrows, and more golden apples. Then I killed Red out of spite and got his emerald. Next I tried shooting Red. Oh! And got him. I tried getting the high ground by going to the very top of my base, and when I noticed yellow, I tried shooting him, sadly not killing him. Eventually, green was the only one left with the bed, and one of them apparently tried to get to me using pop-up towers, but he underestimated how many fireballs I had and he fell. Wow, that's a lot of items. With the resources I got from the green, I bought another iron golem, more fireballs, and using the emeralds, my own ender pearl. Eventually, the greens came for me using teleportation. Let's see, if I knock him down, then my iron golem that's right around the corner can help me get him, and my jump potion should make me pretty hard to hit. Okay, that didn't work in my favor, but before he died, my teammate had fully leveled up our feather falling boots, so I should be able to survive the fall and get to cover. I have one ender pearl, but I don't have enough health to use it yet, but after consuming this apple, the absorption should give me enough health to get... Oh, I thought he would take the stairs. To be honest, I don't think I deserved to win this round after my messed up start. Round 85, we were attacked from both sides. First by whites who tried to blow up the defense, and then yellows who were actually successful, and my W tapping wasn't enough to save the day. Despite my minor amounts of victories in Bedwars doubles, it was now time for the final game I've been dreading since the beginning of this video. Solo Bedwars. In solo games, it's kind of difficult to determine which direction to bridge, because if I go one way, there's a decent chance another player will come from the other direction, and without a teammate to defend your bed, speed bridgers have an advantage. Nevertheless, round 86 I covered my bed with one layer of wool, and since I don't need to share the item generator with other players, I got some TNT and a stone sword and went after Blue's bed. After I destroyed the bed, I expected Blue to be somewhere on his base still since his bridge wasn't near an island, but I didn't see him anywhere. Weird. Using Blue's generator, I restocked on blocks and bought another TNT, and after returning to my base, I decided I had to get Yellow's bed next. In the middle of bridging, Yellow saw me coming and tried to bridge to meet me. He wasn't able to reach me, but I was too high to jump down, so I tried to jump to a portion of the island. I didn't take too much damage from the first jump, but I missed the next jump, and just like that, my health had depleted. My generator got me enough gold to purchase some iron armor, and after getting more blocks, I tried to stop Yellow from using my bridge, but he killed me and my bed was gone. But at least I broke a bed. Round 87, Pink seemed like the easiest option for getting to, especially since he'd flat bridged and his bridge was so easily accessible. A struggle ensued, but I should have broken the bed and then killed him, and it would have been faster, but oh well. After he respawned, I began fighting and I almost got him, but he managed to get the last hit in. When I respawned, I bought an iron sword so I could finish him off, but... Aww, I wanted to kill him. Since I was already outside of my base, I decided this was probably the best time to collect emeralds and managed to grab 6 of them. But on my way back, Yellow tried to take them from me, and he almost got them, but he somehow fell off the cliff, so I got to keep my emeralds. Unfortunately, my bed was destroyed, so I figured since Cyan's base was empty, I could go over there to get some diamond armor, but I never made it off the bridge. Round 88, I covered my bed and then I rushed Aqua and was just barely able to break his bed before I died. After respawning, I decided it was necessary to add another layer of wool to my bed defense before I went back out to break the next bed. But when I was passing through Aqua's base, I somehow managed to kill Aqua and get his items. Guess I'm just that good. Then I went and caught Yellow by surprise and tried to break his bed, but I was killed before the TNT blew up. I should have put some of my items in an ender chest, I'm so mad. Then Yellow decided to take some measures to ensure I didn't get his bed again by destroying my bed. I tried to get him back, but after playing a lot of Bedwars, I know that it's difficult to kill people with the weakest sword in the game. If I could direct your attention to this grid here, you'll notice a significant time difference compared to playing round 88. That is because it was summer vacation and I didn't bring my computer with me. So round 89 takes place just over 2 months later and I've become a little rusty and jet lagged, so we'll just have to see how these rounds go.
A few moments later.
Hey look, it's the like button! I gotta hit it! In round 90, I definitely show signs that I'm jet lagged. I put a second layer of wool around my bed and after gearing up, I spotted Green trying to speed bridge over to me. I tried stopping him with the fireball, but there must be something wrong with the fireballs now because he didn't fall into the void. So I built up to meet him, but he started running away. I used this as an opportunity to connect my bridge to his, but I shouldn't have hesitated so much. When Green came back, he had shears, so I let him break the blocks below me and tried to knock him away, but my jet-lagged brain led me to believe I could get his bed instead, which was a huge mistake. When I respawned, Green was trying to get on my bridge, and I had just enough resources for a fireball, but I'm thinking the fireballs are broken or something. Green ended up falling, and then I killed him. With him dead, I scrambled to get his bed before he caught me, but right as I fireballed the bed, my own bed was gone. Luckily, Green seemed more interested in the white guy who broke my bed instead of me, who was at his base breaking his bed. I knew I would be next, and so I bought a fireball and tried to blow up the white guy, but he had a fireball too, and we both missed. I knew trying to go over to white was some sort of elaborate trick to kill me, so I feigned and then went over to kill her, and accidentally deflected a fireball. But then I ended up letting myself fall for the trick, and she killed me easily. Round 91, instead of trying to rush to other players, I decided to bridge over to diamonds, and I managed to get 3 of them. With them, I bought a mining fatigue trap and a counter-offensive trap. Not long after buying some fireballs, Blue tried to get over my bridge, but the fireballs finally started working properly and he didn't make it. I could see Yellow coming, and so I bought iron armor and another fireball and tried to blow him up too, but it didn't seem to work again. Oh, he fell. Oh, okay. Yellow would be back, so I added another layer of wool to my bed, and soon my trap was triggered. I fought hard to keep him from breaking my exposed bed, and I thought it was all over after I died, but the fire from his explosive finished him off for me. As soon as I respawned, I bought some end stone to cover my bed with since I was a little shaken from almost losing my bed, and found Yellow's gold and diamonds on the ground. But before I could finish recovering my bed, Yellow was back, but that was when my counter-offensive trap was triggered. It was a little tricky trying to get up to him without blocks, but I was able to kill Yellow again. After that encounter, I restocked on blocks and a better sword, and was going to go and destroy Yellow's bed, but I didn't notice that Aqua had already done that until I saw Aqua coming to me. I tried to stop him, but he dodged my fireball and propelled himself to my bed with his own fireball. With my counter-offensive trap going off, I thought I could get to him in time, but he did way more knockback than I was expecting with just an iron sword. But it wasn't all bad, I managed to get the second highest number of kills, so I guess I'm not as rusty at fighting as I thought I was going to be. After waiting a few days to get over jet lag, I went back to recording, and in round 92, I was ready again. Also, please ignore these blurry edges. I forgot to keep my computer display resolution the same, which resulted in that. Anyways, I rushed Aqua's bed and I could tell he wasn't ready for me because he was desperately trying to cover his bed. I jumped down and placed the TNT and then ran around the bed so that Aqua would both chase me and get blown away by the explosion, and then I broke his bed. I thought Aqua had fallen into the void, but he'd saved himself by placing a block under him and catching himself. I wasn't expecting that, so he managed to kill me, but then I came back and killed him. Aqua had apparently been bridging to the middle island, which was why his bed was still exposed, so I got more blocks and went over it. Shortly after crossing the bridge, I met Yellow and we both tried bridging to the other. While he kept building up, I just jumped to his side, but I missed. Luckily, I was able to block Clutch and sneak past Yellow to get to his base and break his bed too. But not long after, my own bed was broken. Since I had resupplied at Yellow's base, I felt ready to break Green's bed next, which I did by using a fireball. With Pink being the only one left with the bed, I was feeling pretty confident, but my mistake was not being able to fireball Green and missing. I underestimated my distance from Green and was caught by surprise after trying to get away with emeralds, and I couldn't switch to my sword fast enough. But on the bright side, I don't think I've ever been able to get 3 beds in a row before. Round 93 was an absolute disaster in comparison with the last round. It started when I bridged all the way to Blue's base, but I didn't pay close enough attention to where Blue was, and all I could do in the end was place my TNT and hope someone else got his bed. And now this is where the annoying to watch part begins. I bought another fireball and was about to go over to Blue's base when I saw Green going over Blue's own bridge. I turned around and bought some other things, and while doing so I heard bed destroyed sounds, but didn't look closely to see whose bed it was. I also saw the Green guy's name in chat and assumed that he died breaking Blue's bed. When I went over to Blue's base, he was running back and I thought he was bedless, so I tried to knock him into the void, but missed. I instead jumped down and killed him while he was trying to buy an upgrade for himself, and I heard the ding of death, but I didn't know he still had his bed, and so I took my time in the shop and was caught completely off guard when he respawned and killed me. But then what I thought happened a minute ago turned out to actually happen. Blue then tried to go over my bridge, and I was worried I was going to add to the embarrassment of not getting his bed, but then I took him down with me. After respawning, Green was on his way to get my bed too. I tried to fireball him, but I missed him, and so I made a difficult jump over to him. But then he tried to blow me up, and without any blocks I tried to make the big jump back, but was too slow at pushing my spacebar. When I respawned, Green had made it to my base and we engaged. Unfortunately, he had a better sword and won. Just before I respawned, my bed was gone. Hey, that rhymed. When I did respawn, I just barely managed to kill him. With the few resources I still had, I stocked up on what I could and then went to Blue's old base to get more items, and surprisingly, I was the only other player left besides Aqua. Predictably, I went to the middle island so I could get to Aqua's base and picking up emeralds as I went. Aqua tried to meet me and I tried blowing him into the void, but it didn't work, but while I was trying to get to a new angle, Aqua fell into the void by himself. And I got the kill credit apparently. I got to the last bridge connecting Aqua's base with the middle islands, but before I could cross it, Aqua was coming. And I feel like I could have done this fight differently, especially after squandering my fireball supply, but Aqua got more hits on me and had several upgrades on his gear, so it was never a question of whether I could still win. But I still got to the top 3 killers, which now makes me think that maybe killing in Bedwars isn't the best way to show how good I'm getting at PvP. Round 94, I was already bridging, but Green was also already bridging, and I knew there was no way I could counter the high ground, so after pulling off a perfect TNT jump, I broke his bed right after he broke mine. I bought a fireball to finish him off. Revenge! I was hoping to get some emeralds to get diamond armor, but I ran into White, who was already several steps ahead of me. I knew I didn't have much of a chance anyway, so I blew myself up. Round 95, Green was next to me again, and as fate would have it, we fought each other several times. The first time he killed me and took my diamonds, but luckily decided to go spend them on something, so I tried getting to his bridge, but in my haste I didn't think to get any blocks, and since I was trying to salvage some on the way, I met the green guy on the bridge to his island. I managed to hit him hard enough to knock him off the cliff, but when I tried to go over his bridge I slipped. As you can see, I was pretty angry with myself. At that point, all I cared about was defending my bed, and so I fireballed a lot of the bridge that connected to my island, and while Green was trying to bridge, I had enough of a time span to buy another fireball and blow Green into the void again. While I waited for Green to come again, I put another layer of wool around my bed, and it's a good thing I did because Green came back, but he didn't have a chance against me. After the 4th time he came for me, I tried to fireball him again, but he managed to survive, and after he did some intimidation, he jumped down. I got 1 hit on him, but he hit me onto the other side of my bed, and I couldn't get to him before he broke it. He nearly killed me, but I got the last combo on him. Then after stalking up, I blew Green into the void again, and I think he might have disconnected because he wasn't at his base, and after I broke his bed, he was already dead. But while this did help my self-esteem, Pink killed me. Then they died. Oh hey, number 1 killer! Round 96, he began bridging to— What? Already? Round 96, I bought some TNT and blocks before— What? Already again? Round 96, after I killed Red and got to his base, I used the trick the green guy from round 95 used, and after placing TNT next to his bed defense, I placed blocks to slow down Red, which also conveniently blew Red into the void so I could break his bed. Then when he respawned, I placed the blocks again and killed him like a pro. After I got back to my base, I stocked up and I was going to destroy my next victim's bed, but ran into Green. I used up all my fireballs to keep him from getting the high ground, but then he placed TNT to propel himself past me. I tried to stop him, but fell. Well, this is a good spot to end this round. In round 97, I killed Aqua like I played Bedwars a lot, breaking his defense, placing the blocks in front of him before he could hit me, and then throwing him straight into the void. That's pretty much all I could manage as Pink killed me. My hits wouldn't register or something. Round 98. Literally 10 seconds after placing wool around my bed, Green was suddenly there and breaking my bed. This is probably the fastest I've lost a game of Bedwars so far. But hey, I fixed my display resolution. But it's almost the end of the video and I really wanted to win one of these rounds, so this is round 98B, which lasted longer than the last one. Yellow was the closest to me, so of course he tried getting to my bed. When he was right above me, I tried to jump and knock him off, but I missed, and thought I was going to lose this round, but by some miracle my bed was still there, despite being exposed. I killed Yellow without a second thought. Soon enough, Yellow was back, this time with TNT, and when I tried to get to him, he fireball jumped past me. But he made the foolish decision to try to kill me first. I just barely managed to kill him. I wanted to get his bed, but I had low health, so I towered up and speed bridged over his bed, which for some reason was exposed, and placed TNT to blow Yellow away so I could get his bed. I knew I wasn't going to live, but it would have been nice if I could have killed him, then I wouldn't have gotten this insult. Sounds like a skill issue, TBH. Yellow came to enact his revenge, but he was knocked down by Pink, and I wasn't able to kill Pink before he placed TNT, and I desperately tried to stop them, but I couldn't. Soon though, everyone lost their beds, and I thought I might actually have a chance of winning and tried fireballing Green, who had diamond armor. Unfortunately for me, Green was prepared. But I guess third place isn't all bad, even though that seems to be a constant thing. Round 99, Aqua broke my bed, and what followed was an intense battle of knockback and blocks, which of course, I didn't win. Round 100, Gray and I kept throwing each other into the void, and after a long time, he barely killed me and got my bed. But a few minutes later, after getting supplies and a golden apple, I towered above his bed, and while waiting for the TNT to blow up, I consumed my gapple to help me recover from the fall damage. I got his bed, but I didn't make it any further. Aw, and I didn't even make it to the top 3 kills. This would have been a bad way to end this video, but I just played 100 rounds, and there's no way I was going to finish this video without winning at least one round of solo Bedwars, so I tried again. But I lost. Alright, again. What? Again! What? Why is everyone so fast? Ah! Clearly bed rushing wasn't working out for me, so I decided to try something different, camping in the corner of the map. So in round 116, I covered my bed with endstone, wood, and hardened clay instead of just wool, and I discovered that on some maps, the resource generator is actually faster, and so I stocked up on fireballs. Then, I just waited. Gray and White were soon the only other players, and I was isolated and protected in my corner of loneliness, so I used a fireball to blow away White's meager wool defense and announced it in the chat. Soon, Gray had broken White's bed, and so now I was the only one left with the bed. But Gray had full control of the emeralds and diamonds, and since he had potions, I had no idea where he was, and I had come too far in this round to not win, and all I could do was hope for the best and play some unnecessary intense music. After I used my last fireball and saw Gray wool around my defense, I was worried Gray was here, but in a few more seconds, I'd won. And got the second highest number of kills. Finally, now I never have to play Bedwars again. Now that I've played 100 rounds of PvP in version 1.8, my thoughts on it are, you should be careful of carpal tunnel because a lot of the time you'll be clicking really fast, which to some people may not be very enjoyable. But since I mostly butterfly clicked on my glorious Model O, I didn't have any problems with carpal tunnel. Or maybe it's because I took long breaks between recording sessions. But as I have proven, clicking fast doesn't always mean you'll win your fight. Heck, I can barely beat my siblings with only a sword, so you need to know the techniques, like stunning your opponent so you can get a combo on them, among other things. It takes practice and a good mouse. But now, it's the end of the video, and thanks for sticking with me to the end. If you enjoyed, you could consider watching this next video. I don't know what's going to show up here, but it's probably worth watching. Okay, bye.